So it's really important not to pit one industry against the other and really look at these 1,100 low-head dam situations that we have around the state of Colorado, where some of them have been put in place for important agricultural purposes, but some have been put in place too for recreational enhancements and also for fish aquatics and so forth. But really, to do this really important inventory, to figure out where the most critical locations in the state are, and then bring everyone together, whether it's the firefighters and the search and rescue teams, local county commissioners, community leaders, to really sit down to provide the best available information for folks that are river users. I'm a former rafting guide and really enjoy getting out on rivers myself, and I have two really young kids. I have a 3-year-old and a 7-year-old, and when I head down new sections, I really pay very, very close attention to what's going on that landscape. So it only benefits me as personally, but I know it benefits everyone else that spend time on our rivers in Colorado to have the best available information and know that we're all going to work together to kind of deal with this public information on dealing with low-head dams. I really want to thank all the partners that have been involved for this awareness campaign. Water Conservation Grant through the Water Conservation Board, they provide matching grant. Also FEMA's National Dam Safety Program, as well as in-kind services, Whitewater Engineering, also a generous contribution. Thank you, Ruth. $20,000 putting forward for this effort is just so incredibly important. And then, of course, again, our emergency responders, and thank you so much for being here, Kyle. So again, the DNR is really happy to partner in this effort, and we look forward to really continue to work on this inventory, but really get down to work now. And this is where the real action takes place, and really building awareness and making sure people know on the front end where these low-head dams are in the state of Colorado. So with that, thanks, Bill.
The next speaker is Amber Weber, and Amber is the Executive Director of the Ditch and Reservoir Company Alliance, DRAC. With so many of these structures in this inventory serving agriculture, we could not ask for a better partner than DRAC and also Amber to represent them. So, Amber?
Thank you. I'm pleased to be here and be a part of this amazing group of individuals. I'm going to tell you about DRAC just a little bit. We are a nonprofit serving over 200 organizations and individuals who are water delivery providers and others. And while we are mostly agricultural, and that's kind of the hat I wear here, we are proud to have all sectors of water represented. So this project is really neat for us because it doesn't just touch agriculture, it also touches our other members as well. Low-head dams actually play a pretty big part and are an intricate piece of a greater story, and they are kind of tied to this hardworking and dedication to water delivery. And so when you add that on top of recreation and everything else, you just think about how awesome a river and all the water delivery systems are, and how there's so many different uses and reuses of a river. So it's just incredibly important that we come together for this work. We have many individuals who have lost their lives, and we are all touched in some way, shape, or form. So we feel privileged and kind of, we just feel like we need to be here at the table to make sure that we don't lose any more lives. We keep those personal stories and our larger story intact. So we're pleased to be here. We know the risks, and we really just want to be here to help. So thank you.
Great. Thank you, Amber. Next up is Laura Kroger. She's the engineering director for the Mile High Flood District, and we're standing in River Run Park in front of two dual-purpose structures that Laura might tell us a little bit about, where the Mile High Flood District sees the opportunity to take a grade control structure on the South Platte and turn it into still a grade control structure, but also a great community asset. So thank you, Laura.
Thanks, Bill. So Laura Kroger, Mile High Flood District, and what we're really about is protecting people, property, and the environment. And we do that through preservation, mitigation, and education. And it's really around flood risk. And so this is so important to us because one of the first things I learned when I started working on the river was these low-head dams, they look safe. There's nothing visually that would tell you there's danger. And I think this is why this campaign is so important. Because just upstream from here at Union Drops, we've lost several lives over the years. And that in mind is what really helped us put a plan together to revitalize this area and really bring back the the benefits of a healthy river system, but we also need it to be safe, because we can't afford to have any more lives being lost in this area. So if you look behind you, there was 2 low-head drops right downstream of Oxford and then 1 upstream. We broke those down into 6 features. And if you go over and look at it later, what you'll see is Whitewater. And to me, that's what's so important, because that's a visual cue that there might be danger, it might be some hesitation. I might not want my 4-year-old to go over there and start playing without some supervision. And we also have signs that lets you know, hey, there's rapids downstream, you might want to go out and investigate before you keep floating. So this awareness campaign we are so proud of, and I feel very important that it really keeps our community safer so we can enjoy this recreation. I don't know about you, but I know my neighborhood during this pandemic, we just craved the outdoors. And so we need to do what we can as public servants to create safe spaces that people can enjoy. So thank you for letting us be part of this.
Thank you, Laura. Next is Hattie Johnson, who's the Rocky Mountain Stewardship Director for American Whitewater. And American Whitewater has been a great partner. They've always been open to ideas on how to improve public safety. And Hattie is here to speak from the perspective of the river users, and also maybe about some future activities to build on the work that we've done today.
Thank you all for coming out today. Good morning. Hattie Johnson with American Whitewater. American Whitewater is a national river conservation organization. Our mission is to protect and restore America's whitewater rivers and to enhance opportunities to enjoy them safely. So that is a key aspect and why we were so pleased to be a part of this steering committee. Safety has been central to our work since our establishment in 1954. We work hard on safety programs and make risk mitigation integral to all of those, but also into our stewardship work. Formal risk management is part not only of that program, but we work very hard to publicize practices that will help all Americans enjoy our rivers safely. Being a part of this great steering committee and brainstorming and talking with Bill over the last year and a half has been such a joy. There's a lot of projects that American Whitewater has been working on that tie really closely to this one. Since the completion of the Lowhead Dam Inventory Project, we have been working to overlay that inventory, that data, with our National Whitewater Inventory. That's an online database accessible to all river users. And we've been able to prioritize and identify structures that overlap with high and popular high-use sections. We're still working to get that data uploaded onto our website. That'll be really key to have users understand what downstream risks may be a part of their trip. But it also is an opportunity to crowdsource more information about these structures. We've got this wonderful inventory now, and we're hoping to use our website and relationship with the recreation community to better understand what each of those structures look like. I am very excited to be here to launch this media campaign, this public awareness campaign around Lowhead dams. American Whitewater has been working on a similar, broader safety campaign called Paddle Wise. We've done that with Northwest River Supply for this paddling season to help river users recreate responsibly. And a really key aspect of that is for river users to paddle aware. The work that the steering committee and DNR has done with the Lowhead Dam inventory and then this media campaign is going to be really key in informing river users and folks that are going to be recreating on the rivers what hazards could be downstream. This is really important information to get out to even seasoned users, but especially our new and future users. We heard about how these communities really have appreciated these spaces through the pandemic, and we've definitely seen that. And so this is a great time to be getting this out. We're also excited to continue to work closely with DNR and some of the other stakeholders here on a project to understand what other benefits. We have obviously great public safety improvements from some potential projects and upgrades to Lowhead dams across the state. We hope to work with a large team of broad stakeholders to understand what some of those other benefits to the environment, infrastructure efficiency could be, and develop a scoring framework to understand how those values compare and identify some high priority high priority structures that we can improve and have large public safety benefits, but also improvements to our rivers and water users. Thank you again. Thanks for having me today, and we look forward to working with you in the future.
Great. Thank you, Hattie. Great stuff. Next up is Ruth Wright, who, as I've said before, is a public safety advocate and former state legislator. And I first met Ruth in March of 2019 and was immediately impressed with her energy, passion, and wisdom. It's been great to work with her on the issue, and I look forward to hearing your thoughts on the topic in the future. As Dan said, Ruth and her Wright Family Foundation made a generous $20,000 donation to the project that we're going to use for signage design and installation. So thank you so much, Ruth.
Thank you for that beautiful introduction. My husband is a consulting engineer, and he has done work around the country on low-head dams, so I was familiar with them. But so it really got to me when, right here in Colorado, when I was thinking about low-head dams, we lost that teenager on the Purdy, and there was a quote from his mother saying, "I hope somebody does something about this. I want to know that my son has not died in vain." And that really penetrated my heart. And I thought, who? Why not me? I'm a retired state legislator. I know about legislation. I know state government because I work with state government and the legislature. And I thought, I guess I'll take this one on. So I researched it and found out that there is a statute which is completely pro the owner of the dam, and that's the state legislature wanted to protect agriculture and not to be sued by people who were killed there. But that made it really very difficult because most of these dams are ag dams. And I must say I very much appreciated when DRAC came on board. We were with the agricultural community, so everybody was on board and maybe we can get something done. So I visited with Bill, and he made it perfectly clear that he has no jurisdiction over low-head dams, and that's true around the country. 1,000 people die at these dams around the country, and nobody has jurisdiction over them. I think the media is incredibly important at this point. TV, maybe you can get some station, Channel 4 or whatever, to do public service company ads, and get to the people and the kids that are gonna go past a service station and see a bunch of inner tubes there, and then go up the creek and start going down without checking anything. So media is incredibly important. But I want to say, finally, that Bill has been absolutely fabulous. He's a master of this. No funds, no jurisdiction. Just by virtue of his leadership and his passion, he's pulled us together to the point where we have this kind of a meeting to start using the media to protect the people. So I want to have a clap for Bill McCormick.
Well, thank you, Ruth. Just following your passion. So thanks for those kind words. So next up, we have a representative from the Denver Fire Department from Water Rescue 1 team, Kyle Purdy. He's going to talk to us a little bit about what it's like to get in the river and rescue people.
Well, it feels a bit unfair to have to follow that, but I'll do my best. I'm Kyle Purdy. I'm part of Rescue Company Number 1. The rest of the crew is over here. We are your special operations responders. We respond to all types of technical rescues in Denver, including swift water rescue. Low-head dams are they're a key target hazard that we focus on the waterways that we respond to. They're pretty unique in the way that they pose a threat to people in the water. It's due to the fact that they're not visible from upstream. So as you're heading towards them, there's little to no visibility, and even if you were to see them, all the dangers are subsurface. So they look pretty benign until you're in one. With the increase in population and the increase of recreation here in Denver, due to things like union chutes, we've had to certainly up our game, increase our awareness of low-head dams, their locations, and the way we respond to them. another another different thing about low-head dams is the risk that they pose to responders. They offer some tactical considerations that we don't have with other technical rescues. So we look forward to working with you guys to make the waterways safer for people that live and visit Denver. Thank you for having us.
Great, thank you, Kyle. Thanks for bringing the rig out and the technicians as well. And then finally, this morning, I just wanted to let Andrew Earls, Vice President and First Responder Training Coordinator from Whitewater Engineers, talk a little bit about the training program that they have to make sure that first responders stay safe when they do go to do rescues at these structures.
Thank you very much, Bill, and thanks to all the other speakers. This is a wonderful group together here today. I just wanted to spend a few minutes talking about some training that we're helping to provide to support this grant for raising public awareness. And I've been working on projects related to low-head dams for about 22 years, which is how long I've been at Whitewater, and I've been working with Ruth's husband, Ken Wright. And I've been working with Ken on these dams since my very first year on the job, and have learned a tremendous amount from him. And one of the things that we've learned as we've studied these dams is that first responders can become victims too. We worked on a low-head dam in New Jersey, and someone was trying to ride up to the dam on a jet ski while the media was there. They got sucked into the roller. You know, you do hear about first responders dying, and they're trying to save other people's lives. And so one of the things that we've been doing over the past few years, and that we're also committed to doing more of this year, is providing trainings for first responders. And we have videos of dams, and you know, people like Kyle are probably very knowledgeable about this, but you probably always have new people coming on, and so there's always a need to update that awareness. And so what we're committed to doing this summer, working with some folks at our company, is to provide 5 training sessions around the state for first responders. And Beth Knudsen, who's our executive assistant, has been in touch with several, and we're really going to try to geographically distribute these around the state. She's talked to a fire chief in Summit County. We're also trying to look into potentially a training down in the Durango area, and then something maybe near Glenwood or Grand Junction, or perhaps both, as well as some trainings along the Front Range. So we're in the process of getting those lined up right now. We already have a very good presentation that we can give, so we just need to get these on the calendar, and we'll start doing that. And we're really looking forward to not only instructing the first responders and explaining the dangers, but also learning from the first responders about how they deal with those dangers, because those presentations are always a two-way street. And then the final thing that I would just mention, related to raising awareness for low-head dams, you know, the root of these problems oftentimes are engineers that don't understand how hazardous the structures they're designing are. And one thing that we've been working on at Whitewater Engineers, and Beth has really been the spearhead for this, is developing and talking to a lot of the professors we know around the country to get them course materials that they can use when they're teaching hydraulics classes. And if they only spend 30 minutes on this topic, but let their undergraduate engineering students know that these things are dangerous and that if they're dealing with them, they need to pay special attention, that will really be a game changer in the engineering community, because a lot of engineers, even with 20 years of experience like myself, who don't work in this area may not really realize how hazardous these are. So we're very excited to continue with this training and spreading the word. And Bill, thank you very much for involving us in this process. And I would second what Ruth said. You've just been a force of nature here, so thank you.
Great. Well, thank you, Andrew. Thanks, everyone.